Okay. For this study, just two phases is good enough. So we have an early artery phase, we have a portal phase, and with two phases for this case is enough. No, we don't need the equilibrium phase or delay phase. This has the whole abdomen. Of course, as you may know already, if you don't need the whole body of one series, you can trim it just by selecting the starting point you will going to work with and select this to erase these images. And then, for example, if I don't need the pelvis, I can just set up to here and click here. So only the images in the white part of the series will be used for my reconstruction. That's why, because sometimes doctors give you a data set of images of they have already, and you don't need to work with all the whole images. You can just trim with these two buttons. But I won't use this series for this example. I just will use the portal and the artery phases and start the pancreas analysis. It will ask me to identify the series. We can work with three different ones. And this is magic. From my point of view, the extraction they do automatically for the pancreas is wonderful. Before this application came in this version, there were some doctors asking me to extract the pancreas, and even if we have the endoscope simulator that also helps to find the pancreas, help it. But this extraction is really great. Really, it's quite difficult sometimes to identify what is pancreas and what is the rest of the bowels of the patient and everything else, because the density is quite similar. It's always everything is fatty here with some of different densities, and it's quite difficult to identify really what is pancreas or what is not. And really, this is great. I do love when I first began to use this, I get amazed because it's really, really accurate. Of course, if the extraction is not good enough, we can try it again, but the results used to be the same as first. But we can use the other tools, as we said yesterday, that we can just by drag and dropping or cutting or whatever, or just painting, we can add or delete parts of the extraction to have, let's say here I can delete some parts, maybe I think this is not really pancreas or whatever. I can modify it by my own, but the extraction used to be quite good by default. Okay. Let's go for the registration phase. It will work the same as happened with the liver and other series. As first step, if it could be some differences between the series, I recommend you to manually adjust or just use the rigid registration. And after that, you can just go for non-rigid and modify the different phases to adjust one to another. Rigid is more to if there are some difference, but it's not usually needed because you don't have many different. But if you are working with not just the two phases that are quite the same locations, maybe you are adding the patient that has different, you know, yeah, patient moved or the respiration, the amount of air that he took, it was quite different. You will need to maybe adjust a little, not so much, and then you can, but it's not mandatory. You can use the non-rigid registration, but usually it's not needed. Just you can go direct for non-rigid registration. And then let's extract the rest of the organs. Of course, we can set to automatically extract many things like veins, arteries, and kidneys, and different regions around the abdomen. If you take bigger portion of the abdomen, the vessel extractions will take much more time because you have to extract more vessels. So if you trim to a smaller area, it will be faster than this. You may take this in account when you are planning your demonstrations, because maybe you don't want to have so many time this in the screen just waiting for the things to appear. So first we have the portal extraction here. Used to be quite good. Anyway, we can check out and modify. The arteries didn't work it so good this time. Here we missed a lot of vessels here. I don't know why. This shouldn't work. We can set to watch the aorta. That is fine, but the rest of the arteries are not so good. It took the aorta again, but it didn't follow it. Okay. Anyway, we can modify with these regions, so I can just set the root point and tell where's the vessel heading to, and it's supposed to have more success than it's having right now. Oh, interesting. Anyway, we can do it manually, but add to the region and just click and drag and drop to add different vessels here for the kidney. Oh, yes, cancel and come back here, etc., etc. Okay. This way, I will add all the vessels I need to have here. This one, so more or less. And okay, I will be fine with that. The vein as well, this is renal veins we displayed as the inferior cava. And we will have an extraction as well of the pancreatic duct. The pancreatic duct is not always visible. It will depends on the patient, and you will see this green line drawn here, the blue line, and that's marked in green. And you can modify it. You can see that when you extract the mask, you will have one line here that is the supposed conduct of the pancreatic duct. And well, is you can't see because there's some mass here. For example, this is a tumor the patient has. I won't tell you to continue. Maybe these you can modify a little to add some small trace more here to connect this as we did yesterday, and modify the diameter so to match what we are more or less seeing, and start extraction to add more to this extraction. But anyway, this is not really mandatory for this. Also, tumors. This patient we will get better here in the artery. So we have this mass here. Okay. And the spleen, the duodenum, kidneys, and the bile duct, if it's not visible, you cannot extract it. There's no automatic extraction for this here. The bile duct, is a bit tricky because um, you know that the batter ampulla it connects here with the duodenum and the pancreatic duct together will come somehow maybe from here, some point of this. But it's quite difficult to see if there's no dilatation or something. It's quite difficult to locate here. It's this point here, or I think that it's maybe this point here coming from here. So I could draw again with point and point and continue pointing up here. From here, maybe it looks somehow looking like here, something like that. And of course, as always, we will need to adjust the diameter fit here, more or less. And after this, we can extract it. Yes, I will put it 3 millimeters, more or less in the same. So we will have this buyback. But it depends up to the study allows you to see and follow that bile or not. Okay. The skin, extracted or not, it depends on always another free mask for you to extract something else, maybe another tumor or whatever else you want to extract. And after all extractions, you move to the observation stage to set the route for the renal veins, also for the portal, the arteries. Here, I'll just put this more or less like here. So I will need to check the origin of each one. If I disconnect some of those routes, if I delete one of those points, I can, this will be erased. For example, in this case, this is disconnected here, so it will be, or here, I'm not 100% sure. So this will be discarded, and it will warn you that if you don't connect all things, these yellow parts disconnected will be discarded. As well here with the starting point of the pancreatic duct. So let's put it more or less like there. And we will have a mix of all things together in the visualization. This is quite visual because we have many things set everything together here. So this is quite interesting to be looking at. But the main thing here is that, of course, as always, you can show or hide all the structures you have extracted before, that we will be able to see one region surrounding the tumor. Of course, this merging can be modified, as we saw in previous resection applications. And also you can divide the pancreas in different parts. So if maybe the tumor is in the tail of pancreas, we can just set here more or less. This bar allows you to move around the pancreas as with an orthogonal view here. This is the cross section of pancreas we are seeing here, and we can just take a look of this pancreas orthogonal view, and then I can say, okay, I want to resect, let's say so, the tail of pancreas. So I put this more or less here or a bit later and divide the region. So it will be cut. Oh, I forgot that. I need to show this so I can switch to which part I'm going to see. I will release this and can see. I can when I do this division, I can set which part I'm going to remain. So this will be the resected part will disappear. So I can just switch which ones I want, or release to have again the original one. So I can switch between one another, and of course display the cross section here, etc. And also, instead of dividing into just one part of the pancreas or other, we can divide into three. So let's release this, and divide into three will show me the range that will be deleted. So I will see these two red points here and there. So I will be able to set from where and to is going to be cut. In this case, for example, we will just say here before and after the tumor region, and then divide the region that this is the part that's going to disappear and the rest of the pancreas will remain. Okay. Of course, as always, you will have the cut area, the pancreas remaining volume, etc. And you can as well do something like, create presets of regions to resect and new organs that you want to label. or something else, or save the regions, etc., etc. But nothing really different that we have seen from other resection applications. Really, this is quite focused into the visualization and planification of pancreas resection and nothing else. But one thing that you can do with this application and many others is to switch from this to sign up to 3D viewer or other application. And one typical thing is to say to move into the endoscope simulator. The endoscope simulator will ask you which regions you want to have, so we can apply. Oh, I forgot to extract the skin, but we are here in the port planning. The thing here is, as there's the phase. This phase is for the endoscope simulator, is to planify the pneumoperitoneum. Here, the skin is not extracted, so we need to extract it before. And after this, we'll have just the skin and the fat here. This is not something I find out that the doctors doesn't like this very much because they expected also to have the muscles extracted as well, because they, of course, the pneumoperitoneum is not just for the skin. They introduce the air inside of peritoneum that is below the muscles. So this is not something they used to do. For my use case, the doctors I have explained this. When I explain, okay, we can deform with how big or slow it be the biggest point of inflating, how big will be the deformation, and then we deform. This is not really well perceived because they expect also to have the muscles dilated, and this will have a better image to port planning later for this. But it's so far is the way it is. I expect maybe in the future the automatic muscle extraction, but so far is the way it is. And this for the port planning is something that really is not something really don't used to be really difficult. So they don't need to planify it beforehand. They already know where the lesions are, etc. But if they want to use this, just they can select the point and insert point. Let's say here, and let's put here this insert, and let's put the port whatever you want. And after you are finished, you can set the target where it's going to be port planning, and you will have this visualization, endoscope visualization, that you can. Let's go faster with this. Introduce that visualization into the abdomen. Let's put a surface display for a softer view. And this is somehow what they could try to look at, where to see which vessels, depending on where going into the abdomen, which vessels they are going to have to deal with, how will they plan the resection and everything. But really, this application is not something they use oftenly because this is nothing that really gives them many important information before the surgery. For the pancreas and the endoscopic simulator, mostly that's all. Any questions? Andrea? Here in the endoscopic simulator, you need to first, in the port planning, you need to select the port. You can add more. That's port 1, but I can add another one here, for example, and just put the insert point. It gives you the distance between the 2 points, maybe this. And when I have the point, you will have always the point touching the skin. So if you have not planned pneumoperitoneum, the point will be just the standard location of the skin. And when you finish, you select the target. The target may be the same point as we have before, or set a different one. Here I will look just point the target will be the tumor. And after I finish, I have, depending on which port I select, where I will have this visualization. So I will have this. You can have the visualization right here or even in the observation stage. In the observation, you will not be able to modify the ports. In the port planning, you will. And here you just have this position for port 1 or port 2. And I will be able to modify the viewing to enter to the abdomen and get out. Okay. Also, of course, I can modify the viewing by drag and dropping or whatever. Okay. Please.
Is that really future for the reality? Because for laparoscopic, they usually never target the
Yeah.
lesion.
Correct.
And for robotic, they need to target at least for
Mhm.
pounds. So
No, not really use it. From my experience, not many doctors use this because this may be quite different from the thing they are going to do in the surgery room. So it's nothing that they request. They see this, okay, this looks good. It's fine to have that images. So maybe for in the future, if we can overlap this with the laparoscopic viewing of the robot, will be good, maybe. And but so far at this moment, I think this is really something that may be interesting for them for educational purposes, or maybe to get some good looking images for some publication than rather a real day-to-day use for planning the port planning in the laparoscopy. You're welcome.
how do you answer the question of if we can match either?
No, not possible at this time. I just the only possibility would be only one would be to this be switched to Synapse be 3D viewer, and in 3D viewer I can use whatever I want. Just the one, this the other is deformated. And oh, I have this. Sorry, I will close because I switched it from the wrong application. Close with a setting, and now here are all the things I have extracted. Should be here, but I don't find this. Oh, there's nothing. Here is the whole abdomen. The only way to do that would be maybe here I have a blank uh, region. If I extract the liver, I will have both visualizations here in the observation stage. But I cannot merge. I can, of course, change this color to have a more kidney looking in the colors. So it doesn't changing right now. I don't know why. Anyway.
You have this question very often. There are some cases that we have plumbers and
Yeah, 11, yes. Yeah. You can here you can see everything here. So everything is here, but you will need to extract more tumors to have the visualization of the ones that are in the liver, that we can see transparent or whatever I want, and the pancreas as well. It's the only way, but you will have the volumes here, but not merged together. It's not, you can take a walk around maybe, but it's nothing else than that.